Hello there. Thanks for dropping by, and just to let you know what this is and who's it's for, so you know you come to the right place or not. This is a beginner's guide for people such as myself, sort of old timers who still love to play every day, and also for any newcomers who just like to take their time and go slow, as the name implies. Let's go slow. Um, so hopefully this is something you might find useful. If you like it, great, let me know, and I might do some more. And if you don't, then I might do some more anyway, because you're not the boss of me. So just a little background. Um, I first started playing this about 2 years ago, and at that time when I first saw it, I thought looked like a fantastic game, really wanted to play, but when I played it, I just found it just way too hard, and I was just getting crushed the whole time. But I realised pretty quickly that I was playing it in a way that wasn't suited to me because I was just trying to run through it and rush in the way that I've seen on the gameplay videos on YouTube. And as you see, a lot of those videos are just people just storming through the game and just smashing everyone with melee attacks. And so basically, I just need to go back and find a way that I could play it in my own particular style and take my time with it, as I like to do. And I have found that, and now I have managed to complete the game even on the highest difficulty level, so it definitely can be done with going slow, taking your time. So just to show you my credentials, that's my completed 5 boss cell save slot. So that is done on the highest difficulty level. So just to let you know that if I can do it, you can do it. But for the purposes of this, I'm just going to start from the very beginning, obviously, and show you what you need to do. So here we go. So to start off, you start in the prisoner's quarters. This is just the very beginning of the game. I'm just going to give you it just shows you the very basic controls of whatnot. Someone who you can talk to or not. So you get the bow and the shield. These are the really sort of basic weapons you get at the beginning. I don't ever bother with a shield. I don't ever do any blocking, parrying, anything like that. This is all about keeping your distance, using a tactics build, which is basically using turrets, and just staying out of the way. Let the turrets do the work for you. And if you're doing any direct attacks, it's 99% with the bow or other ranged weapons. So that's basically what I'm going for. So, just to talk you through the game, if you don't already know anything about it, it's a rogue alike, which means that if you die, you go all the way back to the beginning. And it is tough, it is very tough. It does take quite a while to get used to it. I am using the sword here just because it's like a really sort of early start of the game, and it's just a bit easier sometimes to do that. So at the beginning, it does take a while to have access to the good weapons, the turrets that I'm going to primarily be using as we move forward. At this stage, it's just... Ooh. I didn't expect that. The other thing to... well, sorry, I'll pick this up first and then I'll get back to that. These guys are such fuckers. Even on the hard difficulty settings, when you think those guys might just be cannon fodder, they can still be a total pain in the ass. So these are the power-ups you can pick up. What we have here are 3 different categories. You have brutality, tactics, and survival. Now what that means is that brutality is normally based on melee attacks and things like that. Tactics is based on turrets, and survival is predominantly, as it suggests, about building your health and taking on mutations later on, which will help you do that and protect your health. So basically, we're sticking with tactics, and even though out of the 3, this is currently giving the lowest health boost, the more we put into tactics earlier, the better we'll be in the long run. So that's why we need to focus on that. And obviously, we still get 50% health boost at the beginning, which is very good. Just let you know, these health boosts you do get much higher ones at the beginning than you do get later on. They do sort of decrease as you go along. So this is one of the main attacks in the game you can also use, which is the slam, which is just pull down an X. Sorry, I'll try that again. And this can be very, very useful for surprising and attacking enemies from above. So I'll just demonstrate it. If you do it strong enough, you can actually kill some of them. And then I can attack him. I've just moved up here so I can attack him from above, basically. As I said, these guys are just a total pain in the arse. They're just even on the later difficulty levels, they still pop up, and they just honestly, they're just always getting your nerves. Now this is a rune that you can use to smash down, but you don't have that rune yet. So this is something you'll be able to pick up later on, and it will also facilitate a stronger smash attack. But as I said, I can't do that yet, so I'm going to have to rely on coming down the chain. So the other thing to talk about is the teleportation hubs. These are scattered all across the level, and you can use this one to instantaneously travel from one to the other. So there's one here. That means I can go back to the one here if I so wish. Just demonstrate that for you. And you can use that if you want to sort of fast teleport out of danger or trouble, or you just want to go back and collect something you've missed. Okay, so the other thing to note here is the doors. These doors are, every time you kill an enemy you pick up gold, and you can use that gold to spend in shops or as you go through the level. And here, if I had enough, I could purchase this. It's called a wrenching whip, but I don't really bother using them that much, so I'm not going to bother with that, and I don't have enough anyway. The other thing to know is that being a roguelike, all the levels each time you play are randomly generated. So the fact that they're randomly generated means it's different every time, so you can never be sure how the level's going to pan out. You can have good levels, bad levels, obviously. You just look at the draw. But after a while, you'll get used to the general layout, and certain boxes will always be ticked. There'll normally be a shop, there'll normally be a chest, there'll normally be the same number of enemies, give or take. Okay, so here is a vine, which at the moment I can't use because I don't have the rune. So there are several runes you need to pick up that will enable you to reach other sections, pick up weapons. Like I've had this one, I could pick up this hammer, but I don't have the rune at the minute. I have to get that later on as I go along. Okay, so what we have here is a shop, and there's normally at least one of these on every level, sometimes 2 or even 3 or 4 on some of the bigger levels. And what you can do is pick up better weaponry, as you can imagine. So we've got a shield here, which I never use. We've got a multiple nox bow, which means it fires like 3 or 4 arrows at the same time. And then we've got the throwing knife, which can be very useful because it causes bleeding. So if you want to do a sort of hit and run on an enemy, this can be very useful. The other thing to bear in mind when you come to the shops is that time stops. If you look in the bottom right hand corner where it says pause, you'll see the time for the I've been playing so far is 4 minutes 16 seconds. Now the time can be important if you're trying to play quickly, but obviously that is going against the whole point of what this is about. But just to know that if you do complete levels in a quick time, I think the first level needs to be 2 minutes or 2 minutes 30, you get a bonus. But you also get a bonus if you can get 30 kills in a row without getting hit. And if you also look in the bottom right, just to the left of the map, you'll see the number 16 next to a skull. And that shows you that I've completed 16 kills in a row without getting hit. So if I can get to 30, I will get that bonus anyway. So it doesn't really, if you're not the kind of person who likes to rush, there's no need to go chasing that time. Just take your time with it, as I'm saying. That's kind of the whole point of what I'm doing. And just below the skull, there is the number 6. That's the number of power cells you've picked up those again can be used to spend in shops and improve your weaponry, and below that is the number of gold coins which you get every time you kill someone. So I hope that's clear for now. I mean, the good and bad thing about it is because it's randomly generated, you never know what you're going to get. Sorry, this is another you need a rune for. It's been so long since I've played it this way, I kind of forgot what I can and can't do. But yeah, I realise now there's so many runes you need to pick up in order to access different parts of the level. Sorry, what was I saying? Yeah, so as you go through the level, there are all sorts of different things you can pick up, all sorts of weapons, and the main thing about it is really just finding something that's best for you. You know, there's certain weapons that I love that you might not. But as I said, predominantly what I'm going to be doing is staying away from melee attacks as much as possible, using tactics, using turrets, just keeping my distance, hit and run. Okay. Okay, so what we've got here is a blueprint, and if I pick this up, that is the blood sword. Yeah, that's not a bad weapon, to be fair, if you are using melee. And what I need to do now is, if I get to the end of the level in one piece without dying, then that blueprint will become available, and then the blue orbs I can use to unlock that weapon, and then it will be available on future run-throughs, and that's kind of how it works. So, killing one of these guys. Never stop being a pain in the ass. Okay, another scroll of power, which is going to boost my tactics power. These are all to boost your weapon power. As you can see at this stage, even though I'm focusing primarily on tactics, if I take a green boost at this stage, it gives me a 70% HP boost, which is a lot. So it is worth doing at this early stage to do that, even though that's not where we're focusing on. You know, 70% is a lot, so we'll just do that. And as you can see, the green health bar at the bottom left of the screen has expanded. Okay, sorry, that was very quick. What I picked up there was a jewel, and jewels equal gold, so okay, so what we've got here is a piece of cake, which, as you can see, restores 15% of your health. Now, I advise you not to pick those up at the beginning, because you might need that more later on. I mean, obviously you can. If it's, I mean, well, sorry, I might as well take it now. I'm on 86%. It's going to take me to 100%. But normally when I play through, I don't pick up the any health pickups until I've completed the level, and then you can just go back at your leisure using the transport hubs to do that. Okay, you see there, I've got a little skeleton and a 30 pops up. That means I've now hit my 30 kills without being hit. So I will now get the bonus at the end of the level. So I don't need to worry too much about getting hit, apart from the fact that, you know, obviously it just damages your health. So here is another little rune symbol. If you press scratch the wall, hey presto, you get a treat. Now in this case it's a turkey, which is 50% of your health, which is massive. Cake is always 15%, turkey is always 50%. And obviously if I needed that, if I was in trouble, this is another reason when you come back through the level and pick these things up as you go along. Also later on you get the opportunity to recycle these. I don't think you can do that now at the beginning, but if your health was at full and you just want to get gold instead, you can recycle it and get money for it. But it's not giving me that option, so again, that's just something that must just happen later on in the game. Okay, so let's see where I'm at here. So if you pull up the map, you can see what things show up on the map. Any weapons, any health pickups, you can see the turkey there, and also the transportation hubs, and of course anywhere you've been. So I can see there's a shop, sorry, a treasure chest I've missed back near the beginning. So if I just go back there now, And if you ever come into an area that is a shop or a chest area, the time will pause. Again, this doesn't really matter at all for the way that I am playing for this video. This is just purely for if you are sort of trying to get like a beat the time limit. But for our purposes, it doesn't really matter. The only thing it matters for is in higher difficulty levels, you get something called a malaise, which makes you sick. And the longer you take, excuse me, the longer you take to clear a level, the more the malaise builds and damages your health. So in later levels, you do need to rush a fair bit, but that's like way off. So don't worry about that for now. So treasure chest is normally a new weapon, or hopefully a turret. So what have we got? Okay, so this is a frost blast. So this to me is better than the rusty sword. So I'm going to take that. And basically what it does is freeze people in place. Okay. Okay, so here is another vine that we can't use because we don't have the rune to do that. So unfortunately we can't get through that. So there are quite a few of these in the early levels which you won't be able to access. Okay, so that is the end of the first level, and that is basically everything you need to know for the first level and to get started in the game. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to pick up any turrets yet. I'd forgotten they must spawn on the first level. But yeah, that's the bottom line. Take your time, go slow, and I guess I'll need to do a second video now to show you what happens in the next level. But I guess just to show you what is between one level and the next is the interim where you can get your bonus. So you can see here, yeah, so to complete the level in 2 minutes you get a time bonus, but as I did 30 kills without getting killed, then I still get the bonus. Okay, so I get jewels and I get blue orbs. And I get my choice of new weapon. So there is a nutcracker, which I don't really like, twin daggers, which is pretty good, but this is what I've been after, an infantry grenade. So when I pick this up, it's going to go into one of my 2 extra secondary weapon slots. You can use this to go back to the beginning. Okay, and if we go through here, sorry, wrong way. And this is a guy who collects your orbs. And these, sorry, I'll just go back to here. This is a guy who collects your orbs, and you can exchange them for weapons. Basically, by giving him orbs, you unlock blueprints that you've collected, or blueprints that he holds, and that means the next time you go through the game, those blueprints will have a chance to drop as weapons. So once you've unlocked the blueprint, they'll be forever available. And yeah, they don't always drop in the order you want, but you do at least get the opportunity to pick them up. So if I talk to this guy, these are the different things that you can pick up. So the first thing, which is the only thing that's unlocked at present, is the health flask, and that will help us replenish our health if we take a lot of hits. So you can see that takes 5 blue orbs to unlock. Now if I want the health flask level 2, that's going to be 50 orbs, which I don't have right now. The other thing to unlock is the gold reserves, and as you can see, if you die, you still keep 500 gold, so that's useful. So I'm going to pick that up. And these are the things you can pick up as you go along. We've got random starter bow, which means if you pick up a better bow or unlock a blueprint, when you die and start again, you'll have a better bow. And same goes for the shield, melee weapon. Then you get this, which is recycling, which means you can transfer. This is what I was talking about, where you could recycle the turkey or the cake. If you had plenty of health and you weren't worried about needing it for the rest of the level, you can just transform it into gold if you prefer that. To restock it means you can replenish the shop's stock. Sorry, it's quite hard to say. Specialist showroom, which shows you rare and expensive oddities. The backpack to carry a spare weapon, that means you can change on the fly, and the blood sword, which I guess I'll pick up, might as well. Okay, and that's it for now. And everything we're going to pick up. So this is the Bloodsport level 3, which is better than the Frost Blast, probably. No, I'll keep the Frost Blast. So yeah, that's it for now. If you go on to the next bit, just have to break the door to go through. Speak to this person, and what you get here is a list of mutations. Now, what these are bonuses to help you on your way. So you look at the ones that are available. This one gives you 15% damage after killing an enemy, but again, that's only really useful. Well, I mean, it's useful at any time, but it's predominantly for people who are rushing through a level using melee attacks and just killing one after another after another. Same goes for this. And same for this, because if you're rushing through, the likely is you will take hits. So this is kind of like people who are rushing, smashing everyone with swords, and just blocking, parrying, attack, and then that this way you take less damage as you run through. So for us, we're on the tactics mutations. So these are the things that we need. So we've got range kills, reduce skill, cools down by 0.42 seconds. Now that the more purple scrolls you pick up, the lower your skill cooldowns will be. So the skill cooldown is the grenade I've got. So the more purple scrolls I pick up, the shorter the time will be to replenish my grenade. So if I just show you, if I throw the grenade, it explodes, and then it takes 5 seconds to cool down. But if I boost my tactics by using the Hunter's Instinct, then that will be that time where it was that time where the skill will cool down will be shorter and shorter, or longer and longer, depending on how you want to look at it. Anyway, it'll be quicker. That's the bottom line. You can get it down to, I don't know, two seconds, something like that. So obviously that can be useful. Then you have support. This gives you currently 11% damage if you're close to a deployed skill. So once I do pick up a turret, the more purple scrolls I pick up, the higher that damage rating will be. And that means that on later, the further you go into the game, the more difficult it is, the more you need that damage to help you get through it. And this one, Tranquility, is 26% damage if there are no enemies near you, which seems like it doesn't make sense, but it basically means that if you're taking your time, as we are, between enemies, then you can boost your damage while you're waiting. But I don't usually use that one. I find the support is more useful. Then we've got the survival mutations, which are the ones to do with health. So successful parries reduce skill 2 down. We're not using that. Successful parries, not using that. Necromancy, this is one I use a lot, even on the highest difficulty levels. You can see the more green scrolls you pick up, the higher health recovery you can get, and that can be life-saving on the highest difficulty levels. And then these are called general mutations. So this one, critical hits reduce skill to cooldown, so that's not something we're going to use. And this one, at a beginner level, this is the most important one you need. It saves you 1 time if you die prematurely, and because the game is a roguelike, if you die, you go all the way back to the beginning. When you do your initial playthroughs, this one can be really, really useful. So that's the one we're going to pick up for now. And basically what that means is if you die, you immediately respawn. Okay, and then here we've got the health potion refill. So at the minute I've only got 1 health potion because that's as far as I've got. Obviously you can pick up more as you pick up more blue orbs, but at this stage I only have enough for 1, and I can use that for when my health gets low. But when you're playing through on further playthroughs, you'll be able to pick up more health potions. I think 4 is the maximum you can get. Okay, so that is the end of the first level and the first interim where you can pick up your bonuses and whatnot. I'm going to stop there for now, and then we'll just do another one for Promenade of the Condemned straight after, and then you can check that out. So thanks for listening.